Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us on today's show. The Baltimore Ravens have finalized their 53-man roster ahead of the Week 1 matchup against the New York Jets, and we will reveal that for you. Now, the closest I will ever be to a game show host is right now, as we tell you who has advanced on, will be able to play against the Jets, and those that are sent home and hopefully find another home in the National Football League and don't have to play in the XFL or USFL. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to those that are waived. Now, to explain waived as opposed to cut, if you've been waived, you are a younger player who then goes through the waivers list. If you're not picked up, then you could end up back on a practice squad potentially for the Ravens later on. And there's some guys here that might find their way back to Baltimore in a couple days. They include Tyler Badie, the 6th-round running back out of Mizzou. Didn't play great this preseason, but still a lot of potential there. Anthony Brown looked really good, but the Ravens didn't want to carry 3 quarterbacks. I would think there's a good chance he comes back as well. Nose tackle Isaiah Mack, fullback Ben Mason, linebacker Zakoby McClain, running back Nate McCrary, outside linebacker Jeremiah Moon, defensive tackle Rayshad Michols, tight end Tony Poljan, and wide receiver Makai Polk. Polk was a player out of Mississippi State that was an undrafted free agent. He might be somebody that they think about as far as bringing back in the practice squad. Other waived players include defensive back David Vereen, wide receiver Binjimen Bictor, defensive back Darius Washington, wide receiver Raleigh Webb, and linebacker Chuck Wiley on the waived list. The waived/injured list includes one of my personal favorites, Shemar Bridges, who was outstanding in the first preseason game for the Ravens. I'm sure that he would be somebody that the Ravens would love to have back on the practice squad and could maybe even still find the field at some point this year. Also defensive tackle Aaron Crawford and outside linebacker Daelin Hayes also are on the waived/injured list. Now the released/vested veterans list. These are players that are immediately eligible to sign elsewhere if they so choose. It includes Tony Jefferson at safety, and there is a belief that there's a backdoor agreement of sorts between the injured reserve players that Jefferson will end up back in Baltimore on the 53. Also, McKenzie at offensive guard, Stephen Means at outside linebacker, Kevon Seymour at cornerback. Seymour played terrible this preseason. Probably not going to be back in Baltimore. Also on the release/vested veteran list, offensive tackle David Sharpe, defensive end Brent Urban, and Urban also expected to be back when there's some backdoor deals done, and then cornerback Daryl Worley also released as well. So, there you have it. Those are the players that have been released by your Baltimore Ravens. What is your one-word reaction to the Ravens making the decisions that they did to release some pretty big-name players there? Do you like what they did? Do you hate what they did? Let me know in the comments section. There wasn't a whole lot of surprises there. My one-word reaction would be expected. I think that this kind of went par for the course for the most part. But with the signing of Kenyan Drake, that did kind of change things a little bit. We'll explain that in just 1 second. Today's show presented by BetUS. BetUS is offering a great deal for Baltimore Ravens fans here on the Rundown. You get a 125% deposit bonus when you use the promo code CHAT125. You can play now at chatsports.com/bet. College football getting started this weekend with some exciting games. Get your bets on the college side, or if you want to bet on some NFL games, whether it's some props or even looking ahead to Week 1. You can get your bets in now at chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CHAT125 for that 125% deposit bonus. It's chatsports.com/bet. So who made the list for the Ravens? Justice Hill is the first name that comes to mind. He was borderline for quite some time, and for him to make the list is huge considering how many running backs the Ravens had to choose from. Demarcus Robinson wasn't even on this team a few days ago, and he slides in after getting cut from the Raiders, and a nice bounce back for him after that cut from Las Vegas. Tylan Wallace also makes it in. Wallace Not too hot this preseason, but there's still a belief that he's got potential there. Tristan Colon also makes it at the offensive line. Christian Welch also gets a spot at linebacker. He led the Ravens in tackles in the final preseason game. And then a few cornerbacks as well. Jalen Armour-Davis, Demarion Pepe Williams. I love saying Pepe, by the way. And then Geno Stone also makes it of some of the players rounding out the 53-man roster for Baltimore. So, what say you? Now's your chance to weigh in. Name a player the Ravens should have kept. Did they get anything wrong on this 53-man roster? Now's your chance to sound off, weigh in. If you think the Ravens made any mistakes, what would you have done differently? Let me know in the comment section below. Name a player the Ravens should have held on to. We are nearing 7,000 subscribers here on the channel. We are getting very, very close. I would love to get there today. Let's not wait a second more. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. We're covering all the latest news, rumors, trades, free agency, and everything in between, game previews. Be a part of what we're doing here on the Ravens Rundown. Join the flock now. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on notifications as well so you never miss a moment. So this kind of escalated quickly, to quote the great Ron Burgundy, as the Ravens worked out running back Kenyan Drake this morning. Around 6 a.m. Eastern Time is when the news came out. And then a few hours later, we found out that he was signing with the Ravens, and that's ultimately what gets the boot for Tyler Badie. Now, we'll see how things work out when Gus Edwards comes back. But nonetheless, Kenyan Drake is here. Previously played for the Raiders, Cardinals, and Dolphins. He was a two-time national champion at the University of Alabama, and he does have a bit of injury history. Most recently was placed on IR back on December 8th with a broken right ankle. But you're talking about a guy in Kenyan Drake that not only is a very talented runner, but also a very good receiver as well. In his best season, you go back to 2020 when he had close to 1,000 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. If he can be your number 2 or number 3 back, you are thrilled. I like Kenyan Drake a lot. I don't know what the Raiders were thinking moving on from Kenyan Drake. To me, this is a good signing. It does come at a cost of losing Tyler Badie, who was one of your day 3 selections, but hopefully he can still find his way back on the practice squad. But it's very intriguing to see Kenyan Drake come to Baltimore and what he can bring to the table. I like the signing of Drake. This one just makes a lot of sense for me to see him back with this Baltimore Ravens team and what he brings to the table. As you can see there on your screen, that 2020 season, his best year, but always has found his way, been more of a fit as that number 2 or number 3 back. And last year, remember, the Ravens dealt with so many injuries at the running back position. And I think the way you look at it, in today's NFL, the way this all works, you can't just have one good running back. You have to have multiple running backs, and you have to rotate them. And that's a good problem to have. So if you can rotate around Mike Davis, Kenyan Drake, Gus Edwards when he comes back, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, whatever that is, the more the merrier, right? I like Drake. It makes a lot of sense to me. This was a good signing from the Ravens to bring him in. Your turn to get out the red pens. Grade the Kenyan Drake signing. What do you think about it? Let me know. Type A, B, C, D, or F how you would rate the signing of Kenyan Drake in bringing him to the Baltimore Ravens. Turn on notifications and join the flock now for never-ending Baltimore Ravens coverage right here on the Ravens Rundown each and every day. The latest news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time here on the Ravens Rundown.